Welcome to Backstage with Geoffrey Morrissey. I am your host, Geoffrey Morrissey. We are backstage at the Sinclair, one of my favorite venues and one of my favorite new artists, Matt from the band Twain. Matt, how are you tonight?
I'm okay, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How could I be doing poorly after seeing you, Palehound, and Big Thief absolutely kill it here? It's been one of my best Sundays in a while, so thank you for the awesome evening. Now, I heard that this album was recorded mainly in a tool shed in Connecticut. I know that you call Virginia home, and that's a huge influence. But tell me, the tool shed, how did that work?
Oh, well, we took all the tools out first and then went from there. But it's a big part of me, Virginia, the landscape and the rhythms, the way people speak. But I left there when I was a kid. I haven't really lived in a permanent place a whole lot recently.
And then, so part of this record, you brought on sort of just an incredible cast of characters to kind of help you out with it. One of which was Scott from Dr. Dog. How did you guys sort of connect, and how did y'all sort of find working on the record together?
Scott's friend Goa passed the record along to him, and one day I was at work and I got a phone call from him, and it was like one of the happiest days of my life. He's a big reason that I started playing music, and I don't know. When I heard his voice, I realized that I could also I could sing. Like there's something about it. Just the way sometimes you hear somebody you relate to, and anyhow, I got that phone call and we started sending some tapes back together. I remember he sent me this tape in a taco shell box, reel-to-reels, that is, quarter-inch tapes, and started making some arrangements, and eventually we ended up hanging out and just like trying to write some songs together and demo some things, and it led to this, bringing the fellas in, and yeah, that's the gist of it.
Well, nice. Does he sing on the record at all? Because I almost thought that I could faintly hear him in the background, or is he just sort of behind the scenes?
No, he was just, well, there's no jest to it. He was kind of, in this mystic way, he was the scene, and he would be very quiet about setting up mics and about arranging the space, and I don't know, he's a powerful, I should say a magical kind of person. He can influence a situation with a very small movement, and yeah, we just spent that weekend tracking songs, and there are some songs that he sang on, but they aren't on this record. Maybe the next one.
Well, we already have stuff to look forward to. That sounds great for sure. So the name of the record, Rare Feeling, which is a name that I sort of love. For you as a songwriter, what do you think is the feeling that's toughest for you to capture in a song?
Joy.
What is it about joy that makes it, I guess, more difficult for you to sort of encapsulate than some other emotions?
Well, I don't know that I can encapsulate any of them too well. That's the hardest. It's the hardest thing, just to be purely joyful, or I write towards it a lot, but I can't write about it. Sometimes it just happens in performances or in recordings, but I'm not the poet. I'm not the poet that it takes to really worship joy.
I like that. I like that answer and sort of the self-awareness that comes with it. I'm going to read you a quote that I found from another interview that you conducted. The thing that I struggle with most is the feeling that I haven't really earned the attention I may receive, that the music is only interesting to folks within the context of other bands that I've been a part of. Why do you feel that way? Could you explain sort of that emotion and that feeling to me?
I'm more of a mutable person by nature, and artistically it's easier for me to fall into somebody else's rhythm. So over the course of my life, I've been a part of just so many amazing bands and projects, and I hope that people hearing that quote don't think it sounds ungrateful or arrogant, but it's the truth. Most of what I've made so far, I've been in somebody else's flow. So and there's a certain machinery in place in terms of commercial, professional success, where if it's easy to advertise someone, then they're more attractive. So, yeah, I don't know. It's confusing. I have a hard time trusting audiences sometimes. If that makes any sense.
No, it totally does. It totally does. And one of the things that sort of I was sort of taken by your performance tonight is that you did most of it sitting down. So why did you choose to do that? Because that's something I haven't seen before, but I think it almost gave a sense of, I don't want to say urgency, but it really forced the audience to kind of pay attention. And I think everyone walked away from it thinking that it was definitely one of the highlights of the night.
I just felt awfully tired, to be honest, and I was feeling very sad, and I was preparing to start playing, and then when I stood up, I realized I had felt a lot more comfortable down there, so I sat back down, and that's the gist of it. But I had never played from that position before, and it was nice. It was freeing in a way.
Nice, nice. Now I want to take a moment and talk to you about some of the songs on the record, Rare Feeling. Two in particular kind of stuck out to me, Hank in Georgia and The Sorcerer. So sort of walk me through both of those songs, because they're two very heavy songs that don't really seem to be about one thing in particular. They seem to be sort of like a confluence, if that makes sense.
Sure. For the first one you mentioned, Hank in Georgia, is basically a dialogue between a husband and a wife in this case, and it's an extrapolation of inner dialogue, the inner masculine, feminine discourse that a lot of us feel, and in this case I made them into people, but it's really just something that I felt going on inside of myself, where the feminine is trying to teach the masculine to love itself and not attempt to destroy itself. And in this case, it made sense to make the voices coming out of a man speaking to a woman. You can define those terms as you like. It's not meaning anything specific. Just the feminine and the masculine speaking to each other. Yeah. And then the second song is it's two really separate ideas, and I don't really know what they have to do with each other. But I like people's different reactions to it.
And what have been some of the reactions that people have given you to that song? Any that particularly surprised you?
I like it when people think it's funny, and sometimes they do. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say about that one. I would prefer with this one that someone listen to it and have their reaction first before they hear what I think. Or
no, of course. What was the song on the record that you would say came easiest to you?
To write or to record?
We can do both.
I suppose the one, this one about it's about a woman. It's difficult to talk about. None of them, or all of them, they just all came as one piece, as opposed to having to be cajoled along, and that's, I think, the reason that those are the songs on this album, is they were sky songs. They just happened pretty effortlessly.
Well, nice. And then so this will be my last question that I'll leave you with. Who are you listening to right now? Who has your ear musically?
I just got this record by Lajari. I think that's how you say it, Lajaari. He's like a transcendental auto harp player, and he's been making music for decades.
Nice. Well, and if you have not had the chance to check out Rare Feeling by Twain, drop what you're doing right now and do that. Thank you so much for the time today, Matt. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.